Hey, thanks everybody for joining us today. Live Music Nation Podcast Festival Edition. Today, she is with
Renee
the Indian
side.
Head Harvest Fest in Alabama. Renee, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Renee, give us a little background on you. Where'd you grow up? Talk a little bit about your family and your career.
Well, I actually grew up in a very small community called Providence in between Parrish and Oatman in Walker County, Alabama. Um, excuse me. And then I moved to Jasper, which is a little bit larger, but my heart was always in small and rural communities. And I married for a long time, seems like 6 minutes underwater. I'm just kidding. 4 kids, 4 grandkids.
Oh,
So
man,
our
that's
oldest
awesome.
is
You're blessed.
40, our youngest is 17, and then we have lots of grandkids in between.
Perfect, perfect. All right, let's jump into this festival. I always ask these 3 questions to get things started. What does it look like? What does it smell like, meaning food? And what does it sound like, meaning music, environment, things going on?
So the Indian Head Harvest Fest was our very first festival. Cordova was actually destroyed by 2 tornadoes in 2011, 12 hours apart. And it decimated our downtown. And we still have no buildings in downtown. We're working on it, but we're surrounded on 3 sides by water. So we have really started in the last 3 years trying to address quality of life issues and really building on our water venue and our great areas for hiking and biking trails, bicycle trails, things like that. So 2019, I started the Indian Head Harvest Fest, and it was named Indian Head Harvest Fest because in 1896, Captain Benjamin Long, who was basically the founder of our community, was brought the Indian Head cotton mills to Cordova, and it was the most highly decorated textile mill during World War II, employed about 1,000 people. Well, that's a 17-acre site, and they closed in the 1960s, and it just really devastated our community. At one time, we were known as the industrial heart of Walker County, and that cannot be said today.
Sure.
So in the 80s and 90s, the final buildings were torn down and fell. And so we said, what can we do with this park or with this area? So we turned it into a park. It's got walking trails, pickleball, basketball. Well, our festivals have grown so much that there is no way that we can continue having them downtown. So we've decided to move them to the park. Indian Head Harvest Fest starts out with a kayak race from the Sipsey Forks on Warrior River. The Sipsey Heritage Foundation hosts that, and then they get out here at Disney Lake. And Disney Lake is about 2 minutes from our park. We have lots of vendors. This past year, we had about 8,000 people at the festival, which for a community of 1,700 is huge. It's an all-day celebration. It is also an America 250 event. I am the director of the America 250 initiative in Walker County, and our Indian Head Harvest Fest last year was an America 250 event as well. After the kayak race, all the racers come down and they come to the beer tent, get them a beer. They shop with vendors. We've got loads of food trucks. A couple that always come to all of our festivals are Nolan Style Pull Boys and the recipe, the best fried catfish you will ever put in your mouth. We have live music all day long. Our headliner for Indian Head Harvest Fest is A Few Miles South. They're a band from Georgia, great bluegrass and country. And then at 9 o'clock, we have a fireworks show that lasts about 45 minutes to an hour.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. Very good. So really a festival with not only a cause, but a mission to rebuild a community. That's fantastic. You did a great job describing everything. You answered all the questions that people might have. You definitely got their taste buds watering, and that's a good place to be. Renee, I always ask these next 2 questions at every interview I do because I am in live music and live entertainment. and I like to survey the nation and find out where they're at. I need to know two things. Number one, what is the best concert you have ever been to your entire life?
Cinderella, Wenger, and Poison.
Wow. What a great show that would have been. Absolutely.
It was phenomenal. Yeah.
Not what I was expecting to hear from you. Okay, dead or alive, you could bring one musical act to Cordova, knowing that it's going to pack the whole town, bring a lot of publicity. Who you bringing? Dead or alive, money not an issue. What musical act are you bringing?
I got two. I can't choose between the two. Toby Keith and hang on, Alan Jackson.
All right, both great choices. Segment of the show, you get to ask me any questions that you want. What question would you ask me?
Well, what's your favorite band or live performance that you've been to?
You know, I think Garth Brooks probably tops. I would Garth or George, but if I had to pick between the two of those, Garth Brooks by far. I think would be my favorite. Absolutely, great question. How do people find out more about what's going on in Cordova with the Indian Head Harvest Fest and all the other events that you have going out throughout the year?
Well, they can always contact City Hall at 205-483-9266, or they can contact me via email at renee@cordovaal.org, or they can go to our Facebook page, City of Cordova, or they can go to our Facebook page of CEIDA, that stands for Cordova Economic and Industrial Development Authority.
Perfect. Guys, check them out. Renee, thanks for what you're doing there in Alabama.
Thank you so much.
You betcha.
Well, baby, I'm